Greetings. All right. I just remember there's a time change tonight here. I think it was an hour. So I was on Spaced Out last night at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm still recovering from that. So I'm supposed to answer questions and that'll be answered tomorrow when I feel a bit better. So that's Priscilla back there in the astral working for us, helping us out. She's on. She won't hear move. So this is a great reset. I mean, technically we're already in one, but we're just gonna explore that a little bit more. Not too much detail. I also picked up the Sirians, the pyramid technologies, which I was not expecting that. So I connected to the Sirian energies and then Earth Rebirth. Earth Rebirth. Yeah, that'd be elemental beings for that. Earth beings. So, yeah. We'll go into that in a second. Expect fireworks in the future. That's all I have to say. It's Hamilton.com. We have prayer sessions. Yeah, scheduler of the shop here. I'm on the 24th, I think. Same situation here. The webinar. Wednesday and then Saturday. Social networking behind the scenes. I would say just expect anything. Yeah, it's whatever it is that needs to happen, it's going to happen. Doesn't mean anything's going to happen this week. Something's about to happen, but probably just another boring week. But it feels like some kind of movement is on the way, but everything's going to be slow. So if there's going to be some kind of it might not happen, but it feels like we're moving into some kind of shift where a bunch of things are going to happen. It just takes a while to get it going. So I don't think that Ukraine is the capital's going to take over this week. It doesn't feel that way. Next week looks better. Of course, I've connected to it here and there, and it keeps changing. So either way, they're going to take it eventually. Unless they wipe out all the Russian soldiers and all that, which I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, we're going into some strange times for sure. Iran just hit the news recently. So, yeah, it's just right now, I don't feel China doing anything, but they might down the line. It depends on where all the cards fall. So it's like a domino effect. So anything can happen at this point. So not that I say our worst fears can happen, but not to concentrate on that. But yeah, I know people want this positive timeline and everything, but I don't know. It's going to get strange. I mean, if you want to be real, yeah, it's just something's going to give eventually. We'll see. There's more to that, but I'm not going to go into it. All right, so I connect to spirit energies for this. Spirit beings. Hopefully nobody gets attacked because the spirit world is connected to friendly and unfriendly areas. I've mentioned this in the past. I don't want to beat it to death, but some people feel, because supposedly all the aliens are not manipulating our reality and all that. But, I mean, how does one know that exactly? How does one really know that? When you have a world like ours that's so easy to manipulate, like you can just be a casual alien being just sitting around. It's like, Maybe I'll start messing around or whatever. You just get kind of pulled into it. You just feel like screwing with us because it's so easy to mess with us. It's not that hard. So, it has to be it's like a vampire thing. It's like the human has to open up the door for the being to start manipulating. So this is, and you got what, 8 billion people here? And you can have a positive being that just has some darkness and they might be attracted to somebody and start messing around. They might have good intentions, but it might screw people up too at the same time. So it's just complicated. And the other thing is the spirit world. The spirit world has a lot of issues with it, and they can mess with our dimension also very easily. The demonic dimension, even the more supposedly positive dimension. I mean, spirit guys make mistakes all the time. So, if you have a bunch of spirit beings that don't know what the hell they're doing, that happens. What if that's part of your timeline? So it can be influenced from all different places. So it is, I don't know, just maybe not everybody wants to hear that. They just want to hear the positive, which is fine. You can look at it from a positive perspective. But just realize what's going on. If you don't feel like you have any interference from any beings, then you should be fine. Of course, some people are being messed with, and they're just in denial that they are. So there's a lot of denial going on. That's one thing about the spiritual awakening. You notice the denial is very large. It's delusion and denial. Oh, she is alive. Somebody. Oh, not moving anymore. That's it. That was the end of that. Went back to sleep. Yeah. So yeah, it's complicated. It doesn't mean you have to focus on things like that. But our world does get hit with, just where, yeah, when everyone starts to start hugging each other in the streets, then the world's a different place. That's not happening right now. So they get together and protest instead. It's like, okay, that's kind of peaceful, sort of. But yeah, we have a long ways to go. I don't know if this world will ever heal itself at this rate. I don't know if it is they say 400 years or something like that, but how do you know that for sure? You get to 400 years from now, it's like, well, I guess it'll be another 400 years or another 1,000 years. I mean, if you're trying to be realistic, I mean, the way is if humanity becomes friendlier. And like the neighbors I live here, they're not friendly here at all. It just doesn't exist. I don't think it's in their vocabulary. So, yeah. So, of course, it's spring break, so that should be fun for some people. Yeah, spring break energies, at least on the beaches, that looks good. That looks pretty. There you go. Just spread that across the planet, and we'll have a better world. Or we'll just have to live on the beach forever. So just keep spring break 20, year round. So, all right. I guess it is spring break for some people, but it's not enough. All right, we connect to spirit realms, positive spirit realms that won't mess with people. We'll always be putting in attention for that. We'll see about that. And then go into the Sirians and then elemental beings. All right, blessings. Greetings. We are the consciousness from spirit. As you have heard this over and over again, not to have fear. Many do live off of fear. It's their gasoline. That's okay. That's just some just can't let go of it. They like the drama of it. It does help create a personality. So it has its positives connected to it. But it's going to be, yes, a lot of awakenings. The Earth is going into a, well, it's the human consciousness. It's removing what it no longer needs. It's cutting off the fat, you can say. But it has not quite started just yet. So everything exists forever, but doesn't have to exist in this dimension, this realm. So if there's a lot of changes that happen on the world, realize it does exist somewhere else. In case you're holding on forever, which is okay. Just realize this world, yes, is temporary. It's even actually amazing a lot of these cities have lasted as long as they have. Even Rome, you think Rome would be non existent? They even changed the name of it. Technically, it's called the Vatican. Rome itself is pretty much a Vatican city. The Vatican pretty much runs Rome. So, and Milan and other, cities there are glad they're not involved with the Vatican vibrations. They are, but not as much as Vatican itself. And Rome is pretty much not lost, but its free will is not as free will as I'd like it to be. So, but the reset energies here on your planet, a lot of truths will be coming out, especially with your secret space program. There's a lot of delusion in that, and there's a lot of delusion. It was actually awakening more with your spirit realms, with your alien realms. There is some delusion, but there's actually much to still understand. There's a deeper meaning to the aliens. Yes, for the most part, yes, there are future versions of yourselves. And your future version of yourself, looking at your human self here, is like, not to judge, but knows that this is necessary for its growth. And yes, many you do come here unwillingly. Well, you come here because the world needs you. Yes, you might be. This is not your 9 to 5 job. It is a 24-hour job that lasts 60 to 70 years, or 100, not 100. It's usually, they know when you've had enough, but it's usually 60 to 70 years. So. And there's, some of you, yes, have had karma connections. Well, some of you do things you probably shouldn't have been done to begin with, just so you can be in this era. There's different ways of looking at it. But sometimes you have incarnations that are just necessary, that are just horrific. But a lot of the starseed energies are healing a great deal. But they're healing a lot of the emotions. They're not always used to this much emotions. Even when you're in a higher dimension, you just don't deal with all of this type of, it's the complexity of this human existence. But the reset is just cutting off what is no longer necessary. Ukraine is just basically becoming a newer, different type of Ukraine. Russia also, eventually. But also other countries are going to follow eventually. Is yes, and then new technologies are brought in, possibly a currency, but not anytime soon. The currency, that's there is a timeline there, yes, but not yet. So some of you might get ahead of yourselves on that one, but we do see a lot of society transformations coming. Of course, we can't go into the details of what's happening on your planet. Of course not. It's like going to the back of the book and reading the ending. Not to say it's an ending, but giving you the details of what's to come. It just can't go into full detail of that. It's you can say it's forbidden, but it is. Many of you signed up not to know. But some of you do know where the world's going. You might not believe it, but some of you have seen exactly where this is heading, even now. And you just didn't really believe this was going to happen. So maybe not the whole Ukraine situation, but the war situation. Some of you probably saw it in some form or another. Blessings. Greetings. We are the consciousness of Sirius. We do work through colors of the dimensions. Like a certain color can protect us from the radiation of your planet, the lower frequencies. But we do connect to it telepathically to give you messages to assist. Some of you might think we're actually spirit guides, which in technically terms we are. So, yes, as some of you probably remember, yes, a spirit guide on a ship or even another planet that's just living a normal life, well, a galactic life, a life with barely any difficulties. But the purpose of this world is so unique. It has a recipe of chaos, of drama, of soul growth. And the soul growth isn't always going to reveal itself. Well, it's like if it gets good at something, why change it now? Especially like the recipe is so flavorful for the souls that come here, as hard as it might be. Of course, you're remembering the more paradise incarnations and the high, but you're bringing that high here from your other realities. The universe will make sure that the knowledge that you are intended to bring into this reality will come here. Now, some of you can cut that off sooner. It's patience, but some of you cut it off sooner than. Either way, you bake in your vibration, your knowledge, your codes. You do bring it in here, and it might take a long time. So you're doing the inner workings in the astral realms, setting up future timelines here. Actually, so you're doing a great deal with the earth. You might not see in the physical. But that's the point. That's the point of it. And to trust is not easy, especially yes when you see the spirit realms abusing their own power. And it can also be the neutral, more even positive beings can make a lot of mistakes themselves. Well, because they're positive doesn't mean they have experience. So that's why you connect to a positive spirit guide to give them experience by being here. Like you sit them down in a chair and they learn all your knowledge and it's going to be overloaded. They try to get up and leave. It's like, no, you're staying here. Because they can help you through situations, especially when you're getting yourself in a situation, a timeline that is questionable. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this, but I need you there for me for that. Especially the higher dimensional spirit guides. Yes, you might not agree with them, you might not like their ways, but they can keep you alive through no matter what situations you choose. So so what keeps you going, what keeps you in longevity, a lot of it's just your higher frequency spirit beings. You might feel like you lived your life completely wrong. And that might seem like that on the surface, but actually on an energy level, you're doing a great deal. You're not always supposed to see how you're working with the earth. It's just not how it works. So I believe you must be going, actually. Oh, yes, the pyramid frequencies, the pyramids are being shifted. They're a part of your timeline. So the inner workings of their energy, of course, it's usually done at the astral level, but some of you might feel like a pyramid moves. So we bring this up to pyramid energies because you might feel a pyramid comes to mind. You might appear in your mind. You might think about it. It's like, why am I thinking about that for some reason? It's because of the frequencies are shifting with it. I mean, you are bringing your pyramids with you. Because they carry a lot of the galactic knowledge is brought here, thousands of years ago. So you're just sorting out beings that thought they knew what they were doing, and you're just sorting out their difficulties here. Yes, they brought a lot of baggage, as you can see. We do see the demonic realms eventually healing and closing down, but first, for that to happen, you have to understand it. The reptilians opened those realms up, but also some of the Atlanteans also. Because they know that will keep the world shut down. The trickster energies from all different parts of the universe. I mean, the tricksters of the universe are the demonic realms. This is technically hell. And yes, they rule the earth, yes, through politics, through lawyers, and through other energies. don't like us speaking about them either. All right. Blessings. Greetings. I am an elf being from your Agartha. Greetings. How are all of you? Yes, everything's going fine. We do see storms in your reality, thought storms. People are not thinking too highly of themselves. Is it fear? Self love? Yes. Someone things they can't have and spend their whole lives doing that. Not sure why you would do that, but some are just grasping for things they can't have. And we sit there in the elemental realms and it's like, okay, that was progressive, I guess. I mean, no matter, even if we chime in, say, hey, by the way, why are you doing this again? And even we get yelled at. Earth rebirth, sort of. Well, if the Earth wants to have another type of reality, which it is kind of going, well, Mother Earth is very much involved with this change. So we have problems. Talk to her. I feel yes. It's like she feels like this is necessary. Humanity needs to like the carpet is being pulled from humanity as it stands and standing strong. Is that fully ready to see your aliens? Of course, can come in any day. Any not that they will, but they could. They can be here in 2 seconds. But of course, your human agendas are so whacked out. Yes, they don't. An alien doesn't want to show up and all of a sudden they're babysitting for the next 10,000 years. So you wonder why your aliens might show up with their ships, and it's like, oh, that's all you're going to get out of us. We're not going to be your babysitter forever. So that's why you don't have ships landing and hold your governments. Yes, they might be doing it in secret, and there's not everything's been revealed about that. I mean, some of the aliens are saying, "Hey, we can improve your government." The government's like, "Who the hell are you? What do you think you are?" Well, we're just here to give you advice, and the humans are like, "We'll take all your good stuff, and we'll think about it." So an alien being connected to your government, they obviously can see deception. That's easy to see. The Greys saw deception also, but sometimes they don't pay attention to what they see either. But sometimes they want to see what humans. It's like the Greys would take the responsibility for humans screw up. Because they want to see what humans are going to do. So that's an agreement, a soul agreement. So here's some technology, and humans are like, well, thank you. We're not going to give it to anybody. Have a nice day. Elon Musk obviously is very much controlled. Is he for you? No. No and yes, but as an elitist puppet, as you can see. Kind of like a king, a technology king. You see all his wives and all that. Yes, it's almost like Henry VIII without an axe, which is good, but he's similar in a lot of ways. So can't seem to live alone, can we? Well, when you're a king of technology, you don't have to. So he's kind of like your modern day candidate without all the bloodshed, which is good. There's other stuff that's going on, but like damage to the earth. That's a different type of energy. Yes, your electric cars obviously aren't doing the best for the environment, but that's kind of like a hoax on humanity, as you can see. Nothing new there. But us as elemental beings, we just have to watch. We do assist to make sure the earth is not going to be taken down with you. We work with the trees on that to keep the tree vibrations going. You do work in your dream state so you can sleep a little bit less chaotic. But some humans here, even you're a homeless person trying to take over the world, literally, if it's a fantasy of theirs, like, how are you doing today? Do you want to, you want slaves, do you? You'd be surprised. I mean, not like you're around somebody having those conversations, but they does exist. Why are we bringing that up? Well, because your average person can do all kinds of things here. And that's where we come in to kind of talk them out of manipulating society. Obviously, we're not doing a very good job, but we can't stop everything. I mean, technically, we could. As elemental beings, an elf person, wizards, we can just, snap our fingers and things will get better. But of course, humans at this level are just like, hey, everything's perfect. Let's trash the place. That's the mentality right now. Some of you are like, hey, we're not going to do that. But others are like, we don't care. And obviously, that's going to be the majority, the selfish majority. So, obviously, many don't want to hear that are doing those things. Of course not. Bring me, and especially believing in a elf being, an alien being. That's the last thing humanity wants to hear because then they have to start cleaning up their act. Obviously, they're not going to do it if the aliens do show up. But some feel like, oh man, that means I can't be bad anymore. Yes, you can technically. We just can't clean up your messes anymore. You have to do it yourself. It's just complicated. So the future of the Earth, everybody wants to know what the future holds. Musical chairs. They haven't started yet. Now, your world leaders, do they know what they're doing? No. Does your shadow government know what they're doing? They're impossible to deal with. They're just like kids with itchy trigger fingers. Yes. They have talk about a high. They can't get off that. They just feel like they can do whatever they want. Sometimes that works. When they don't get what they want, they get mad and cry. But they go through depression like anybody else. They go through what you're going through too, but they're at a different level, meaning they're in mansions and things like that. It's my party. I can cry if I want to, type of thing. Well, things get so good for them, they don't have to do them so. And that's the thing when you're a spiritual community, some have it so good, they don't know what to do with themselves. These are like your hierarchy. Yeah, they don't know what to do with themselves. I need to go find a problem. I mean, obviously they have problems. But they actually have to look for trouble. Some literally look for trouble. Because they got nothing better to do. Because life just keeps on giving them everything that they want. So in your future, realize this: Italy's come through. Venice is not looking too good in the future. So if you're into swimming and shopping and swimming, because a lot of those stores are going to be underwater as they already are, but that's going to become more. You can just scuba dive into a shop and get what you need. Not that anything is going to be worth buying, but either way, those days are coming for Venice and Italy. Not that either way, you have images of the old Venice, but expect change. Doesn't mean it's going to be drastic world changes, Earth changes. Not yet. Aren't you going through enough as it is? You have to deal with the land stuff. If you have the ocean come and take away a country just like that, it's like, it doesn't work. It doesn't teach anything. If a tsunami comes in, that's a whole different story. But that we're not seeing those things either. We're not pushing for any of those type of things. In some places, the world is going to happen no matter what. Volcanoes get frustrated. Interesting, the volcano energies do like being here. They understand the human process. They know you need to go through what you're going through. Yes, sometimes they wish the spirit world would work a little bit more, help humanity a little bit more, but they know they can't. But because if the humans aren't aware of the spirit world, how can they make that connection? So most humans are disconnected from it. Many of you are connected, and it's so complicated, isn't it? You connect to your spirit beings, your spirit guides, and they're just sitting, like they're sitting at a table playing cards with their friends. Say, hey, I'm over here. It's like, yes, but we're busy. So that would change over time, right? Blessings.